The shattered altar, the cathedral bells tolled, each chime a hammer against Emma Collins' ribs. Her ivory dress clung to her like a second skin, the lace scratching her arms where the fabric had grown stiff with dried sweat. 200 guests sat in stunned silence, their whispers slithering through the pews like snakes. "Did you hear? She's not good enough for the BLACKWODS." James Blackwood's hands were clammy when he took hers at the altar. His grip tightened, not with love, but with panic. "I can't do this," he whispered, loud enough for the front row to hear. His mother, Victoria, sat perfectly poised, her lips curled in victory. 30 minutes earlier, Victoria had cornered Emma in the bridal suite. A nurse with $43,000 in student loans, she'd sneered, flipping through a dossier of Emma's life. James needs a wife who can open doors, not one who changes bedpans. The check she'd offered, $50,000 to walk away, still burned in Emma's mind. Now, standing in the rain outside the church, Emma's mascara bled down her cheeks. Her maid of honor, Lisa, shoved an umbrella at her. "Come home with me," she pleaded. "I don't have a home," Emma choked out. Her apartment lease had ended last week. Everything was already moved into James' penthouse. A sleek black car pulled up, the window rolling down to reveal a man with rain-dampened hair and eyes that held no pity, just quiet understanding. "You look like you could use a dry place to sit," he said. Emma hesitated. "I'm Alexander," he offered, "and I promise I'm significantly less dangerous than whatever just happened in there." Something in his voice, the lack of pretense, the roughness of a long dame, heard open the door. The car smelled like leather and cedar. He handed her his coat without a word. "Where to?" he asked. "Anywhere but here." As the car pulled away, Emma glanced back at the cathedral. Victoria stood on the steps, watching. For the first time since the altar, Emma smiled. Emma woke to sunlight streaming through the unfamiliar hotel curtains, her body stiff from 3 nights of restless sleep. Alexander Sterling's business card sat on the nightstand, the embossed letters glinting in the light. Olivia gets out. Of school at 3 o'clock, she picked up her phone, hesitating. Every nursing job she'd applied for had mysteriously fallen through Victoria's influence, no doubt. She had nothing left but this offer. The Sterling estate wasn't the cold, gated mansion she'd expected. Instead, it sprawled across manicured gardens, all warm stone and ivy-covered arches. The front door opened before she could knock. Alexander stood there, dressed in a simple navy sweater and dark jeans, his sleeves rolled up to his forearms. No billionaire pretenses, just a man who looked like he hadn't slept properly in years. "You came," he said, as if he hadn't expected her to. Emma smoothed her blouse. "I needed to meet her first." He nodded, stepping aside. "Fair warning, she test you." The house smelled like old books and lemon polish. Family photos lined the hallway of Alexander with a dark-haired woman, Sophia, she remembered, a gap-toothed Olivia grinning on a swing, the 3 of them bundled in snow. A home, not just a house. Olivia waited in the kitchen, perched on a stool with a book in hand. She looked up, assessing Emma with eyes far too sharp for an 8-year-old. "You're the lady from the wedding," she announced. Emma blinked. "Oh. Did you?" "Dad told me." Olivia set her book down. "He said someone was mean to you." Emma glanced at Alexander, who leaned against the counter, arms crossed, watching, letting his daughter take the lead. "Yes," Emma admitted. "Sometimes people decide you're not what they want." Olivia tilted her head. "Are you sad?" "Sometimes." "Mom used to say, sadness is like rain. Doesn't last forever, but you need it to grow." Emma's throat tightened. "Your mom sounds smart." Olivia slid off the stool and walked over, stopping just inches away. "Do you like hot chocolate?" Emma smiled. "Love it." "Good." Olivia grabbed her hand. "I'll show you how we make it here." An hour later, Emma sat cross-legged on Olivia's bedroom floor, surrounded by half-finished art projects. The walls were covered in sketches, some childish, some startlingly detailed. "That's Mom," Olivia said, pointing to a portrait on the desk. "I draw her so I don't forget her face." Emma studied the lines of the curve of Sophia's smile, the way her eyes crinkled. "You're really talented." Olivia shrugged. "The other? Nanny's always said that." But they didn't mean it. How could you tell? Their eyes. Olivia tapped her temple. Grown-ups think kids don't notice, but we do. Emma turned to her. And what do my eyes say? Olivia studied her, then grinned. That you actually like my hot chocolate? Alexander appeared in the doorway, watching them with an unreadable expression. Olivia. Bedtime. She groaned but obeyed, pausing to whisper in Emma's ear, I like. You don't mess it up. Later, in Alexander's study, he poured 2 glasses of whiskey. She hasn't let anyone near her art supplies since Sophia died, he said quietly. You got further in one afternoon than the last nanny did in 3 months. Swirled her drink. She's incredible. She's been through hell. He met her gaze. The job's yours, if you want it. The cottage is ready. Salary, benefits. Name your terms. Emma hesitated. Alexander, I need to know, is this just pity? He set his glass down, stepping closer. When I saw you in that rain, standing there, like the world had ended, I didn't see someone to pity. I saw the strongest person I'd ever met. His voice dropped. Olivia needs that. I need that. Emma exhaled. When do I start? The guest cottage smelled like lavender and old wood. Emma set her suitcase down, running her fingers over the quilt draped across the bed, hand-stitched, slightly uneven. The kind made with love rather than perfection. Through the window, she could see the main house, its windows glowing gold in the twilight. A knock at the door. Olivia stood there, clutching a stuffed rabbit. I brought you this, she said, thrusting it forward. Mr. Hops, he's 4 when you get scared. Emma took it gently. You don't need him? Olivia shrugged. I'm almost 9, but you're new here. Emma smiled. Thank you. Olivia lingered, shifting her weight. Dad said you're staying. It's like really staying, if that's okay with you. Olivia chewed her lip, then nodded. Just don't go in Mom's studio. That's the rule. Emma knelt to meet her eyes. I won't. Promise. The days settled into rhythm. Mornings were oatmeal and packed lunches. Afternoons spent helping Olivia with homework or wandering the gardens. Evenings were quiet. Alexander often worked late. But sometimes Emma would find him in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, making sandwiches at midnight. One such night, she caught him staring at a closed door down the hall. Her studio, he said before Emma could ask. I haven't gone in since. ... Double quotes. Emma handed him a mug of tea. You don't have to. He took it, their fingers brushing. Olivia's nightmares are getting worse. Emma stilled. She didn't tell me. Of course not, he sighed. She doesn't want to scare you off. Emma set her tea down. Show me. Olivia's room was dark, except for the glow of a star projector. The girl was curled tight under the blankets, her breath hitching. Emma sat on the edge of the bed. Hey, bug. Bad dream? Olivia stiffened, then nodded. Emma reached for her hand. Want to tell me? A pause. Then in a small voice, I forget her voice sometimes. Emma's chest ached. Your mom's? Olivia nodded. I try to remember, but it's like sand in my hands. Emma pulled her close. That's normal. But you know what helps? Telling stories about her. Out loud? That way she stays with you? Olivia sniffed. Like how? Like... Emma glanced at the sketch on the desk. Tell me something she loved. Olivia hesitated. She loved the rain. She'd dance in it. Dad always yelled about her catching cold, but she'd just laugh, and her voice cracked, and pull him in too. Alexander, leaning in the doorway, let out a breath. Emma kept holding Olivia. That's a perfect memory. The next morning, Emma found the studio door slightly ajar inside. Canvases were stacked against the walls, vibrant landscapes. Portraits of Olivia, a half-finished sketch of Alexander smiling. Dust motes floated in the sunlight. She turned to... Levon froze. Alexander stood there, his expression raw. I couldn't. His voice broke. I couldn't even look at them. Emma stepped aside. You don't have to do it alone. He walked in, running a hand over a paint-splattered stool. Then, quietly stay with me. The invitation arrived on thick cream cardstock, embossed with the logo of the Sterling Foundation's annual charity gala. Emma turned it over in her hands, stomach twisting. "You don't have to go," Alexander said from his office doorway. She looked up. "It's your event, and you're my employee." His jaw tightened. "But the press will be there." Victoria Blackwood sits on the foundation board. Emma set the invitation down. "So this is a test?" "No." He stepped closer. "It's a choice. I won't ask you to face those vultures." She met his gaze. "What if I want to?" Something flickered in his eyes. The night of the gala, Emma stood in her cottage, staring at the emerald green dress Lisa had overnighted. "Wear this," her friend had texted.
What?
"It's accidentally stunning on a nanny's budget." A knock. Alexander waited outside, black tuxedo tailored to his broad frame. His breath caught when he saw her. He stopped, swallowed. "Olivia's with my sister tonight." Emma's pulse jumped. No curfew. The ballroom was a sea of champagne and whispered judgment. Emma felt the stares as Alexander guided her through the crowd, his hand warm at the small of her back. "Relax," he murmured. "They're just realizing how badly they underestimated you." Then, a voice like poisoned honey. "Alexander, and this must be the help." Victoria Blackwood materialized in a couture gown, her smile razor sharp. Alexander's grip tightened. "Victoria?" Emma lifted her chin. "Mrs. Blackwood." Victoria's gaze raked over Emma's dress. "How resourceful of you to land here after James." She turned to Alexander. "Though I suppose even billionaires get lonely." Alexander stepped between them, careful. Victoria laughed. "Oh, Alex, always playing night." She leaned in. "Tell Mita she cried the same way in bed as she did at the altar?" Emma's wine glass slipped. Alexander caught it, his voice deadly quiet. "Leave now." They fled to the rooftop garden, the cold air a relief. "God, I'm sorry," Alexander growled, pacing. "I should have," Emma laughed shakily. "Thrown her off the balcony?" Tempting, he stopped, stared, then burst out laughing too. Their mingled breath fogged in the air. The city lights glittered below. Emma didn't realize how close they drifted, until his thumb brushed her cheek. "You're shivering," he murmured. She was ways. Phone buzzed. Olivia's ringtone. Alexander jerked back. "I have to," Emma nodded, heart pounding. "Of course." Back at the estate, they found Olivia wide awake on the couch, her aunt shrugging apologetically. "She refused to sleep till you came home." Olivia took one look at them and groaned. "Ugh. You like her?" Alexander choked. "What? You like her?" Olivia repeated, rolling her eyes. "You're doing the face." Emma bit her lip. Alexander rubbed his neck. "Go to bed, pest." Olivia scampered off, calling over her shoulder. "Just kiss already." Silence. Alexander cleared his throat. "I should." "Yeah," Emma whispered. Neither moved. Rain lashed against the windows of the Sterling estate, the storm mirroring the chaos inside Emma's chest. The morning's headlines screamed in bold print. "Billionaire's nanny scandal, gold digger or grieving daughter's pawn." Date it. A photo of her and Alexander on the rooftop, his hand on her cheek, intimate, damning. Victoria's doing, no doubt. Olivia hadn't spoken to her all morning. Emma packed her suitcase. Coward. She chided herself, folding the emerald dress with trembling hands. She'd survived heartbreak before, but this. Leaving would crack her in ways she couldn't repair. The cottage door burst open. Alexander stood there. Hair wild from the storm, his usually composed demeanor shattered. Olivia's gone. Emma froze. "What?" She took her backpack, and his voice broke. "Her sketchbook of Sophia is missing." Emma's blood ran cold. Olivia only drew her mother when the grief became unbearable. They split up. Alexander calling the police, Emma racing to the places Olivia loved. The treehouse, the library, the overgrown garden path Sophia had planted. Then she remembered. The studio, the door creaked open. Olivia sat curled on the floor, drenched from the rain, furiously sketching by flashlight. "Hey, Bug," Emma whispered. Olivia didn't look up. "They said you're only here for the money." Emma knelt beside her.
Do you?
You believe that? Olivia's pencil snapped. I don't know. She shoved the sketchbook at Emma. I was trying to remember her, right? But it's all messy now because you're here, and I like it. And Emma pulled her close as Olivia sobbed. It's okay to miss her and be happy. Live. She'd want that for you. Olivia clung to her. Don't go. Emma kissed her hair. Never. Alexander found them there, his relief palpable. He gathered Olivia into his arms, murmuring promises into her damp hair. When their eyes met over her head, Emma saw the unspoken question, Are you staying? Later, with Olivia asleep between them, Alexander finally spoke. You were leaving. Emma stared at their joined hands over Olivia's blanket. I thought it would protect you both. He turned her face to his. The only thing that protects us is you. His thumb traced her jaw.
I didn't.
Hire you because I pitied you, Emma. I hired you because, from the moment I saw you in that rain, I knew. His voice cracked. I couldn't let you walk away. Emma's breath caught. Olivia, half asleep, groaned. Finally, Xander laughed wetly, forehead pressed to Emma's. Stay. Not as her nanny. As ours, Emma kissed him soft. Sharon felt the last broken piece of her heart slot into place. Epilogue. 1 year later, the art show was Olivia's idea. Canvas after canvas lined the sterling foundation gallery. Sophia's smile. It's Alexander's quiet pride, Emma laughing. In sunlight, it's the centerpiece, a family portrait, all 4 of them. Victoria Blackwood watched from the crowd, stiff-backed, as Alexander kissed Emma's hand and Olivia beamed. No scandals, no apologies, just a home at last. The end. I hope you loved Emma, Alexander, and Olivia's journey. If you'd like an extended scene or alternate ending, just ask. Thank you for letting me tell their story. Part 5. The storm before. The calm, the rain came down in sheets, pounding against the windows of Emma's cottage like an insistent warning. She stared at her phone screen, the tabloid headline burning her retinas. Sterling's scandal? Nanny? Or gold digger? Beneath it, a blurred but unmistakable photo of Alexander's hand brushing her cheek at the gala. Victoria's work, no doubt. Emma's. Stomach twisted. Olivia hadn't come to breakfast that morning. The breaking point, Emma found the girl in the library, curled in the window seat with her sketchbook. The moment Olivia saw her, she snapped the book shut. Is it true? Olivia's voice was small but sharp. Are you just using us? Emma knelt before her. Who told you that? Grandmother Sterling showed me the papers at tea yesterday. Olivia's chin trembled. She said you'll leave when someone richer comes along. Emma's blood ran cold. But that woman had been poisoning this child's mind for weeks. Look at me, Liv. She waited until those 2 old eyes met hers. I'm here because I choose to be, every single day. Olivia studied her face with heartbreaking intensity. Then, with sudden decision, she grabbed Emma's hand and dragged her upstairs to Sophia's studio. The studio confession, the room smelled of dried paint and memories. Olivia flung open a closet, revealing stacks of canvases wrapped in cloth. Painted these for Dad, she said, unwrapping one, a stunning portrait of Alexander asleep, his guard completely down. She said love isn't about money or perfect moments. It's about ... double quotes. She frowned, struggling to remember. Seeing someone's real face, Emma guessed softly. Olivia nodded vigorously. You see ours? She bit her lip. I don't want you to go. Emma pulled her close just as the door burst open. The confrontation, Alexander stood frozen in the doorway. Rainwater dripping from his hair. His gaze darted from the uncovered paintings to Emma holding his daughter. Victoria's here, he said hoarsely. With reporters, Emma stood, keeping Olivia behind her. Let me talk to her. No. Alexander crossed the room in 3 strides, cupping her face. I should have done this weeks ago. Then he kissed her deep, desperate, and years overdue. Olivia made a gagging noise. Oh. But also... finally. The final stand downstairs, Victoria, held court in the foyer, a smirk playing on her lips as cameras flashed. Ah, there's the help now, she purred as Emma appeared. Alexander stepped forward, his arm sliding around Emma's waist. "This is Emma Collins," he announced to the room. "The woman who saved my daughter. The woman I love." The reporters erupted. Olivia's smile turned to ice. Olivia, ever the strategist, chose that moment to wail dramatically. "Grandmother told me Emma would abandon me." The cameras swung to Victoria. Epilogue. 1 year later. The art gallery buzzed with chatter as guests admired Olivia's first exhibition. The centerpiece, a triptych titled Family, showed 3 versions of home. A man alone at a grand piano, a girl crying in an empty studio, a woman laughing in the rain. Alexander pressed a kiss to Emma's temple as Olivia accepted her award. Across the room, Victoria watched silently, her influence finally, blessedly broken. Olivia caught Emma's eye and grinned. "On home," she mouthed. And it was.